All right, so this is going to be lab 9-3, which deals with comparing sales tax by year using Sparklines in Excel. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Okay, we can get started. So I have my VMware open. I have a new workbook open as well. So now we can go ahead and get our data. So data, get data from database from SQL Server. And then our server name will be as usual. And then our SQL statement, I'll just write the script provided by us in the text, or provided for us in the textbook. Make sure there's no typos. So we want to select year, the transaction date as year. We also want to select date name. Month. State. Some amount as amount. Okay. Select it from transact table. And we also want to do an name. The store. Group. And then we're going to order by the same. Maybe we can just copy this. Perfect. Okay. So assuming there's no errors, this should work. Let's go over it as year, month, state, as amount. Transact, inner join store on transact.store equals store.store, where state does not include online, group by train date name, state. Okay. Include relationship columns. Okay. That should load our data. Connect. Okay. And then it should load here in a second. Perfect. And then we can go ahead and load it. And it'll take a second just because it's a larger file. All right. So now we have our data loaded. So what we want to do next is make sure that so there should, yeah, about 900 rows loaded. So now we can go ahead and create our 2 new columns. So in cell E1, I'm going to write tax rate. And then in cell F1, state tax owed. Alrighty. Now we're going to go back over here and load the sales tax that we used for the last lab. Okay, this is what we want here. Copy all of that, bring it into our VMware. Okay, let's paste it here. Okay, I guess I'll just paste like that. Let's filter out column or blanks. Actually, I guess we can just make this into a table. Okay, home. Format as table. Okay. Let's filter out blanks. Okay, so more or less that's our table with the tax rate per state. So now we can go ahead and do our VLOOKUP. So in cell E2, we'll go ahead and type VLOOKUP. So we want to look up the state, this range. Oh, I didn't. So the state, comma, then range, comma, and then we want to do 2 and then false, exact match. Close it up and then enter. Ooh. Didn't go as a table. Okay. Now let's make this stay the same. I think this is how we do it. I'm not great at Excel. Okay, there we go. So now it's just pulling it from this table here, more or less. That is just another way of doing it. My formula didn't pick up this was a table, so we just put in the dollar signs here. So now we can do another formula in column F. Round this one multiplied by this one, and then we'll go up to 0. Close it up. All right. Okay, so now we have our formulas inputted. So now we can see the data here. So now from here, we can go ahead and insert our pivot table. So we'll go to insert pivot table, make sure this entire thing is selected. And then new worksheet, and then do not click add this to data model. All right, so now we have our pivot table. Go ahead and drag in state 2 rows, year 2 columns, and state tax owed 2 values. Perfect. So now we have a little chart here. So now we can go ahead, drop down here, and we want to uncheck 2016. So we want to focus on just 2014 and 2015. Okay. And then they want us to get rid of the grand total. So to do that, we'll go to design, grand totals, off for rows and columns. So I got rid of column D for us. So now we can just compare 2014 versus 2015 versus for each state. And if you wanted to, you could turn these into numbers to make it a little easier to read, but yeah. So now we're going to go ahead and create our sparkline. So we'll just click back. So we'll go ahead and click in here, insert, should be a line. Okay, so our data range is going to be data range is that, and then our location range is just going to be not all that, D5. We don't, or I guess that's fine. Okay, so now we have a sparkline for this data. Okay, so now if we drag it down, we can see it for each state that way. Okay, and then specifically they want us to look at Ohio. If it's increasing or decreasing, decreasing, and it looks like it's increasing based on this sparkline data. So we can highlight that. Okay, and I believe that concludes lab 9-3, and that is comparing sales tax by year using sparklines in Excel. So I can go ahead and stop sharing, and thank you so much.